Don't get too excited. Everybody settle down now. Settle down. I'm speaking. Okay. Just an introduction. Don't get too excited. I'm just introducing you to my new series called I Am David Faber. My name is Reverend Crystal Cox, and I'm the actress that will be playing David Faber. He's also a local attorney. Attorney David Faber, Mayor David Faber, and other names that I have for David Faber. Anywho, listen. I listen to you quietly. Now you listen to me. Are you listening? I don't think they're listening. Hello, David Faber. I listen to you. Listen to me. Now, granted, I wasn't actually listening. I just was, just sitting there patiently waiting for you to shut up so I could make my ruling because I am David Faber. Okay? Is she going to bang that thing? Well, she's not going to be a she in a minute. I am transitioning into David Faber. I am David Faber. Now, I'm going to pledge allegiance to this here flag. I don't really mean it. I mean, blah, 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 blah. I pledge allegiance to the flag, blah, 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 blah. I don't really mean it. It's more like this. Everybody, we're pledging allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to myself. I am a social masochist. No, it's true. Said so in public records. Shh. I'm David Faber. I pledge allegiance to myself. I pledge allegiance to my belief in what Port Townsend is. I pledge allegiance to this here hat, and I pledge allegiance to that there cat. I pledge allegiance to upzoning this and upzoning that. I'm Mayor David Faber. Now, I have these meetings, and I'm like, oh my God, we gotta listen. This is just an introduction video. So it's going to be based on actual council meetings, tweets, public records that this man has actually said. The last hearing I saw, the last council meeting, I saw council member Monica and some other people seconding it, that they were glad to have a hearing on the matter. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they're glad to have a public hearing on it later. And Faber's like, that's fine. You go ahead and have your public meeting. But I've already decided, because I am Mayor David Faber. And I already decide stuff. Oh, yep. I listened to you. Well, I didn't actually listen to you. I made up my mind. See, I was like laying there at night. I was like on Twitter. Woo, Twitter. And lots about his Twitter. Oh, my. And I was like talking to people about Haight-Ashbury, talking to people about upzoning. I was talking to people about my sex life and being a social masochist. Then I was flirting with some people. Then I was talking about housing policy. Then I was talking about urbanism. Then I was talking about Pee Wee Herman. And in between all of that, you see, I already made the decision on this. So we don't need to have a public hearing. Mr. Faber, we have to have a public meeting by law. Okay. Have your public meeting. But I've already decided, so just so y'all know. Okay? So we're going to talk about that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about tweets like, I am David Faber. Is that obnoxious? Well, maybe I'll get something with a little softer tone. But here's the thing. I'm just so proud of this town. I'm so proud of this town. A few years back, all these cis women, they was out for blood for them turfs. I'm so proud of them cis women. Well, what's a cis woman? Well, just like a biological woman that's born a woman, that's a cis woman. Oh, and what's a turf? Trans, exclusive, radical. I don't like the turfs. Well, that wasn't much of an explanation, right? But we're going to talk about some of those posts where David Faber incited hate and blood and violence against women that he labeled turfs. Turf is a violence-inciting slur. Okay? Mayor David Faber tries to act like he's a nice guy. I mean, he cares, right? But really, he's out for David Faber. Okay? I've accused him, and I allege that it's true because, I allege these things, that he is upzoning property for personal gain. He has a real estate company with the president of a nonprofit. He has conflicts of interest up the wazoo. He's just doing where Sandoval left off. He was the deputy mayor back then. Watch some of the past hearings where I'm David Faber, right? And I say that Homeward Bound should get $1 million. Yes, we're going to use the lodging tax. We're going to use the grants. We're going to use whatever we got. We're going to give it to my friends because they're my friends. Because why? I'm David Faber. Okay, and just a quick recap of how I know David Faber. So, I used to do investigative blogging. I had a big free speech case, Obsidian versus Cox. I ended up homeless in Port Townsend because of it, and I was really kind of down with it. And then I witnessed something with a homeless man where a whole bunch of people were attacking him. It was incredible, right? Police set him up, prosecutors set him up. It was like movie stuff, right? Michael Allmain, casechronology.blogspot.com. And I'm fighting for his life, right? They took his dog, who had a chronic skin issue that was incurable as it came out in court. Judge Mindy Walker ruled he was indigent, give him $70,000 in attorneys, right? And then ruled he wasn't indigent and therefore he's guilty, can never have his dog back, had to pay Cinderella Animal Rescue $25,000 to keep his dog illegally. There was a court order from Judge Walker for the dog to be given back. Prosecutor Kennedy, City Attorney Heidi Greenwood, the other prosecutors, Cinderella Animal Rescue, all defied the court order, never gave the dog back. He never got to see his dog again. It was horrific. And the motive was emotional. They nearly killed this man. So I witnessed how he was with his dog. So I gave a statement. I sent a statement to the police. I sent a statement to the prosecutors. They all ignored me. Once Michael got a really good attorney that actually had a conscience, Nat Jacobs, he called me in to testify because he's seen it in the public records, right? They didn't give it to him. Of what I'd experienced and seen with Michael every day for years, right? So I'm fighting for this man's life. He's on the verge of taking his life over and over and over. His dog is his life. He's already lost his family. He's already lost everything. His dog is his heart, his soul, his life. You don't take a homeless person's dog. In a community that, we're into drug rehab, we're into homeless, we're into mental health. They nearly destroyed this man. And many of them, such as Mayor David Faber, laughed about it. So I am David Faber, right? And I'm a sick, you know what. So I'm doing a post. I'm pleading with the public. I'm like, this is what happened. This is what happened. This is my experience. And they all hated me. And people did hate blogs about me. And just hate because I was sticking up for a homeless man. What? It was quite stunning. Anyway, on one particular day, I'm pleading with the public to help me save this man, a man I'd never met and didn't know. Telling him the truth and trying to save this man. Right? Had his daughter messaging me that he was going to kill himself. I had him message me, he was on the verge many times. I'm trying to save his life. And Mayor David Faber, who wasn't mayor at the time, a man named David Faber, sexualized my comment. My emotional plea to the public. My crying, made fun of my crying, made fun of me reaching out to help this man. And I made a note, David Faber. I was like, I've walked around Port Townsend a lot, and so I recognized the name. I'd seen it on a door one time, and I said, I think that's a local attorney. It's kind of made note of the name. So when the Julie Jamon stuff come up, and I saw him being sick and twisted to Amy Sousa on Twitter, which is now X, I commented back. And that's how Amy invited me to the press conference. And that's how I know that he even exists, okay? Because he's one sick individual. So I'm going to talk to you about David Faber. And I'm not claiming to know who he is in his private life, but I've seen public records where I believe that he's inappropriate with teenage trans women online. Okay, I'm not saying minors. I suspect that, but he's lying to the public about his zoning stuff. I've got a tip of where this one person in Port Townsend killed themselves. Faber was his attorney, and he was so horrible and treated him so horribly that the man took his own life. More details on that. I'm going to make fun and make a joke of all of this because the courts don't care. The bar complaint don't care. The police don't care. Adult protective services don't care. Social services don't care. And if anybody did care, then it would just be like what's happening with this Brent Shirley, right? They try to make a complaint, but Faber's like, I want names. You give me the names or else. So I want these names. And then, if you give me the names, then maybe I will consider the complaint. No. He wants revenge. He wants to... They're afraid. The 12 whistleblowers are afraid of Morrow and Faber taking revenge out on him. Well, of course they will. Right? They're not going to look at that stuff. They don't care. And if anybody in the community cares, they can't stand up to the others. They got it sewed up. I thought they had like all of Jefferson County, but in working with the Jenny Ellison case and Libby Winstrom and the nonprofit and the ethics complaints and everything I've been through so far, I see that they have social services. They have the adult protective services. They have the police. I contacted adult protective services to help Jenny Ellison. They sent the very cop who was involved in what she was afraid of and what she was exposing. Okay? All at the state level, every level, they have everything sewed up. So it's right to be afraid of them. And so I'm going to make fun of it, and based on real events that Faber has done. And yeah, this is just the introduction. And it's a lot longer than I thought it would be. So, yeah. Okay, I'm David Faber. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.